for you and me. OTB. OTB for you and me. OTB.
Hi Arlo and Etta, I hope you enjoy this video. This one is going to be a little bit more simple than the one that we've been doing with the lava and the tree, although I will send you that one. This one is a fun one that you can do with some friends if you have friends over right now. Hope you enjoy. The first one is one that Arlo requested, but Etta, you can choose next, okay? But I have a feeling you'll enjoy this one too. Alrighty, enjoy guys.
Step 1, outline.
Alrighty guys, so we're going to start with sketching out the flaming guitar, okay? So it could be on a paint paper, so if you're going to paint on it, make sure it's pretty thick. If it's going to be on a canvas, you're fine. So you don't want to do it on just like a regular paper unless you're just wanting to sketch it. So we want to make sure the paint won't soak through. So mine's is a paint paper. So let's go ahead and start with the first part. So the first part I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the head of the guitar. So I'm going to do a line just like that. Okay? Give me a minute to do that. It's kind of going up a little bit. Awesome. Now I'm going to go up to the side. See, I'm slowly sketching and stopping like that. Okay. Once I get there, I'm going to kind of circle around and go like that. Awesome. Once I get that down, I'm going to go down. And I'm going to come in and make a shape of a head just like that. Now I'm noticing I kind of brought mine out a little too much, so here I am going to fix it. And this just shows you that we all make mistakes. I brought that part out a little too much. There we go. So there's the top of the head of the guitar. Okay? I'm going to go in. Actually, we'll paint that part. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go down a little. So you're going to sketch downward. And I know mine's isn't so straight. I can go back and fix it. And I'm going to go right about to there. It's pretty long, and I'm going to do it on the other side. You guys might be straighter than me. You could even use a ruler if you'd like. And once you get to right about here, you want to leave some room down here for the guitar. I'm going to kind of do like a little happy face bottom to end it. Again, you could go back and straighten it. What I always know is I can fix it with paint if I need to. So there you go, you've got the head and the neck. So you can always pause here if you need a moment to get that done. Okay, if you're ready to move forward, let's go ahead and do the body, the outline. So this is going to be kind of like a U, sort of, with a longer part on top. That kind of comes in a little bit. See that? Okay, take your time to do that. Again, you can pause wherever you'd like. Now I'm going to circle on the top and slowly come down like that. Awesome. Next, I'm going to kind of twirl around here and just bring the body out a little bit past where that is. I'm going to make this shape right here. Notice I'm sketching little by little so I can it's kind of like carving. I'm kind of carving the shape. Okay. Unless you've got a giant chainsaw, when people are carving, they take their time little by little to build it up. They don't just slice right through. And so we're like slowly shaping the guitar. So now I'm going to go around this way and come inward. And I'm going to try to line up with the body right here and going to kind of do sort of like this little side U or C. Turn back. And this part's going to be a little bigger and it's going to go higher than its counterpart, which is here. If I like put a line across, it's going to go a little higher and do a similar shape though. But this U is a little more straight. You can see how that do that a little more like this. You see that? So you can see this line comes up to here, where this U comes up to here, and these line up as good as much as you can get them to line up. What I'm gonna do for the body, I'm gonna bring this body out a little bit more. And that's why I sketch with pencil first, because I can shape it as much as I'd like. So you do want your body of your guitar, which is this bottom part, to come out a little bit more than this top part. You can see all those lines there. And you could take your time right now to shape it if there's any mistakes. Like I'm doing right here. I'm like, oh, I want to shape this a little different and whatnot. Okay. Now from there, I'm going to erase any of the extra lines I put in to kind of make sure I got it even. Again, feel free to pause if I'm going fast. Okay. Awesome. So now you have your shape of your guitar there. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is go down here, kind of do your little pick guard here. This could be the white part of the guitar, or if you want to do different colors, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So your pick guard is here, and it comes down and in. And then we're going to go around. You're kind of outlining the shape in the middle. And this part's going to go like that. Okay? Doesn't have to be perfect. Awesome. So then the next thing we're going to do is start to paint. So this is our little outline here. So this is step 1 of the video. So this is a good time to, like, if you're getting tired or it's a little much for you, you can always pause and come back. So this is step 1. So let's move on to step 2.
Step 2, background.
Okay, with step 2, I'm gonna go ahead and take some black, just pure black, and I am gonna color on the other side of the guitar. Okay, so meaning the very, get rid of some pencil marks. I'm gonna go ahead and carve right. So first thing I'm gonna do, you could even take a smaller brush if you're nervous about getting too close. Let's take one of these tiny ones I have here. So I could take a tiny one and just get close to the guitar. I'm kind of like outlining it a little bit so that way I don't accidentally go over the guitar. So go ahead and take your black and you can outline it a little bit. And so make a kind of line that you can go up to so you don't accidentally paint over the guitar. Okay. There we go. You're going to do that all the way around the guitar. It's also a good time to fix any lines I don't like on my guitar. So now that my guitar is outlined, now the next thing you can do is literally just color in the background black, okay? So let's do that next. So you can see I covered that whole background in black. And so I got a little bit on the top of my guitar. I'm not too worried about it. So this would be a great time to let your painting dry because you have so much to do in the back. And because if black gets in the way of what we're mixing in front of it, it usually ruins it because it's so strong. So let's go ahead and take a break here, and you're gonna let that black dry. Now you guys could go watch a show, do your chores, whatever you wanna do. Let it dry for just a little bit, maybe. It's up to you. It doesn't have to be completely dry, but we want it to be mostly dry. You can see I have wet globs right here. So this is a great time to let your black paint dry, and then we'll continue once it's dry.
Step 3, flames.
Alrighty guys, now that your background is dry, it's time to add the flames, okay? So you'll have your palette again, ready. And I'm gonna take, not a super skinny brush, but one that's like kind of pointy at the end if I have it. If you don't have it, just anything that's kind of like a medium sized brush, more on the smaller side. And I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna start with my red background. So I'm gonna take some pure red, but actually I'm gonna mix it in with a little yellow because I want it to have kind of like a reddish orange. So make a lot of that color. So it's like red, some yellow. So I've got this reddish orange here. Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna go ahead and line my guitar with it. So I'm getting as close to my guitar as I can. Okay, and that's so I don't just go over my guitar. So go as close as I can. If you go a little over, it's not the end of the world. And I'm trying to cover what I can. So only on this side, because on the other side we've got some blue, which is kind of unique. So I'm gonna go like this and outline my guitar. Go and take your time. And I know I keep reminding you, but feel free to pause wherever you want. Like after each step, you could say, okay, I'm gonna pause here and do that. And then press play when we're all done, because I know you're painting with friends, or you might be painting with friends. Hi friends, if you're there. Okay, so you've got this whole outline here. Got it? Awesome. So you're gonna take that same color, you're gonna go on thick, and you're gonna like go like this. So flames are usually thicker towards the bottom, so you don't wanna you almost can't see, well, with my paint it's kind of see-through. You will see a little bit of black through it, but at the end is where it's gonna kind of fray out like that. So the flames are always thicker towards the bottom, and then they come out and get thinner. Like a lot of things in nature, you remember we practiced that and we talked about how there's so many things in nature that are thicker at the bottom and thinner at top, like trees or like grass or hair or eyelashes, all kinds of different things. Yes, we are a part of nature. Okay, and so you could see it's thicker here and it thins out, and I'm kind of making my flames go up this way, you know, kind of go up. So you could maybe do a little different if you want. You could always try it out whatever way you'd like. So my flames, whoa, see what I did there? So if I do that, I could just kind of wipe it off. You don't have to use your fingers. You can use a napkin. Great, and so now my flames are kind of like pointing to the top there. See? I got some orange. Now I'm gonna take some bright yellow and I'm gonna go in with some thick yellow and do the same thing. Have some flames going out. I'm just adding a little bit of touches of yellow. And the yellow again is thicker towards the guitar, and as it comes away from the guitar, it turns into like thinner lines. So I'm adding that throughout just to really give it that flame look. Okay. Awesome. And so you're adding that yellow where you want. You can even add little sparks kind of off to the side if you'd like to get that nice flame look on your guitar. Awesome. So I'll give you some time to do that. You could always pause here and just work on your flames. Alrighty, so here's the other side and what we're gonna do on the other side. So I'm gonna take kind of like maybe like a dark-ish blue. So I guess what that means is I'll take a scoop of blue and I'm gonna add just a little bit of yellow.
White, not yellow, sorry.
From your tube blue if you'd like. I'm gonna add a little darker to that. So I'm going with a darker or like a vibrant blue. I added a little bit of yellow, but not, a little bit of white, but not too much. Okay. I'm gonna take this blue and I'm gonna do a similar thing. Actually with this one, I'm not gonna frame my guitar. Instead, I'm gonna add a couple little parts. So this one looks a little different. It's a flame, but it's more of maybe like water, it almost looks like. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna add little parts of my blue, almost like a broken up line down the guitar, okay? And I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna, same thing, spiral out, but this time I'm thinking more about water splashing, okay? And so look at how I move my brush. So much that I even got some on my guitar, but I want to be careful with that. Here I'm gonna start from right where my guitar is, like right there, and not go past it. And I'm gonna just whoosh, Kind of helps to make the noise. So you're thinking about water. So it looks like this side is almost like water splashing. I'm using a little bit of a reference photo. It's some inspiration by somebody since it reminded me of what Arlo was talking about. So you're doing that. You're more swirling, thinking about water a little bit. And careful when you get up close to your guitar. So if I get up close, I can add like little points where the water is gonna start from there. Here I'm gonna like kind of outline the whole bottom area. Seems like there's more water down here. So outline the whole bottom area. Outlined it, helps make it easier not to go over it, even though I did right there. Okay, if you go over a guitar, just wipe what you went over, because you'll go over it with black, but just so you can see your pencil mark a little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna, some of the water's pouring down this way. Just splashing water, kind of sporadic. Okay, and you can see how I added that. Awesome. So you can see how awesome that looks with the black in the background. Really gives it this bold look. So now I'm gonna take some white and add a ton of it to like one corner of my blue there. So I've got like a really light blue. And in that light blue is gonna be added to some of my water, and maybe in different shapes, like maybe some more swirls here. So I'm adding that throughout my water. Just some streaks and swirls of light blue. And if you want, you can always add more than two blues. You can add a darker one. I can dip right from my paint like I just did right now. I'm adding some more swirls. Again, you don't have to go as fast as me. This is how fast I paint. But I paint almost every day, so I'm gonna probably go a little faster than you might wanna go. All right, here's a little bit of a fun part. You're gonna take some pure white. I'm gonna put a little water on it. I'm rinsing off my brush first. Again, you could use a paper towel to wipe it, or just, it doesn't have to be perfectly clean, just the water. So my brush is kind of drippy. It's pretty wet. Going in with some white. I'm gonna take my brush like this and I'm gonna tap it to get these kind of like sprays. Be careful though, look around you. Make sure there's none of your mom's stuff mom or dad's stuff that can get anything on it. I'm gonna do it to the other side too. I'm just gonna add like these white splatters throughout. I might even wanna do some yellow on this side or orange to give it that fire look. So I'm adding a little bit of yellow. And don't tap it too hard. You don't wanna go too crazy and get paint on the ceiling. Just tapping it lightly to get the splatters. Try not to go right down the middle. You get a little on the middle, no big deal, but you're aiming more for the sides. So you can see how awesome that background looks. So this was the second part, or it might be split into your third part. This was the next part of your background. So now you can either let that dry and take a break and go to your guitar last, which I think might be a good idea because it's kind of detailed, or if you guys are still feeling it, let's keep going, okay? Just keep playing the video and we'll go to the next part. So hope you're enjoying it, guys. Miss you. Can't wait to see what you created.
Step 4, guitar.
All right, guys, so now we're gonna go for this last part. So I didn't let my part dry yet. You guys can go ahead and let yours dry if you wanted, or if you're like, no, I'm ready to keep going. Let's keep going. So I'm gonna make like a tan color. So I'm gonna take some of my yellow. My yellow is a little dirty. It's already mixed with red. So when you mix the yellow with the red, put more yellow, just a tiny drop of red, and you're going for like a tan color like this. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of white to it, and then it's really gonna be like a lighter tan. There you go. It's kind of like a light yellow tan. So the red is so small, you barely add any red at all. So it's mostly yellow, a ton of white. So mostly white. Then second, you're gonna add a pretty good amount of yellow, and then just a tiny amount of red to go for that tan, okay? So once I got that tan, I'm gonna carefully, and you can use a smaller brush if you want, I'm gonna carefully color in my headstock there. Right here, which is the very top of the guitar, the first part we did. And see why when we don't let it dry, I already got some red in mine. But you guys can let yours dry if you'd like. I just go on thicker. remember, the thicker you go, it'll cover more. You could always do a second layer too if you want. Okay, so we're covering that headstock up there, okay? So take your time. Now I'm gonna darken this. I'm gonna add some more, like a little bit of red. So it's kind of getting more of like a pinkish it's looking now. I'm gonna add a tiny bit, just a little tiny bit of black. Okay, a little more red. And if you have a brown already, you can go ahead and just stick to a brown if you want. I don't mind. And so what I'm aiming to make right here is like a brown color. So I mix some white in there, some yellow. So with brown, you're mixing yellows, reds, and a tiny bit of black. So I'm really looking for like a reddish brown, maybe like a goldish brown. This is super red. I'm gonna grab some more yellow. So brown can be a little bit of a pain to make, but I'm gonna make it right here anyway. So I added some yellow to that. It's getting closer to the brown that I want. I already added brown, but I'm trying to find one I really like. So I'm adding black, and I just keep layering until I get the color. That's a color I like. So I kind of got like a reddish brown going on here, goldish brown. Okay. If you have a tube of brown, go ahead and use it. And you can also alter that brown by adding different colors to it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through my neck and color in my neck. And again, you could use a smaller brush, that's totally fine. I'm over here using a larger brush, but I'm actually gonna grab a skinny brush for the edges because I am realizing that this is such a tiny part on the side here. Okay, and so go ahead and color in that neck. Awesome. Just take your time on that. Great. So now I'm going to take pure black once I'm done with that. And I'm going to go ahead and trace my guitar around just the body. Okay, I'm gonna be really careful. And it's okay if I go a little into the background. It's actually preferred. That'll actually look the best if I go a little over my background. That's what'll make it look like it's really popping. So you do actually wanna go over that background. I'm going around my guitar this way. And up around this way. Oh, actually, color in the guitar. Go around the fretboard here, or the pick guard here, I'm sorry. Not the fretboard. You're gonna trace around that pick guard you did too. Awesome. At that point, you're gonna color that black in. All around, not on the pick guard, but around it. Let's go ahead and color that in, or paint that in. Okay, there we go. So see, we painted in that black part. And what I would do is either let that dry or you could keep going. Again, letting it dry is gonna make it easier in the end. And so right now, so again, either you can let that dry or you can keep going. So now I'm gonna take pure white and I'm gonna color in this part, pure white, okay? Whoops, I've got some other color in there, but hopefully you don't. I'm gonna color it in pure white. So go ahead and color in that pick guard pure white. Again, it's up to you if you wanna let it dry. It's so you don't get any black in your white, or if you're like, I'm gonna be like Melinda and just go for it. Okay. Color that in white.
Step 5. Details.
All right, guys, so for details, I'm gonna make a light gray. I'm gonna go ahead and go in and I'll show you what I did here. I actually thought I was recording and it wasn't right now. I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna put this little part in. It's just one part of the bridge. This part with the light gray and this part. So you've got like 3 lines down here. Next, you're gonna go in and do the bridge, which is like this big rectangle. It kind of helps because I have to go through it anyway. So you got that big rectangle there. Even added a little line under it. Up here, when you're doing the tuning pegs, I'm gonna do it on a plate so you could see what I did. So first I went and did those 6 dots with that light gray, right? So I'm gonna do it on a plate here. I'm doing mine in black just so you can see. So I did 6 dots right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see those 6 dots right there. And then I went with my brush and I kind of used the side. And I went side, right above it, side, side. Use the side of the brush to make these kind of like rectangular shapes. See? And you could see those right up there. Then I connected them. And that's how I did my tuning pegs there. Okay? So you could pause again and go ahead and add those. So what I was saying for the strings are optional. You need to have a tiny, tiny brush or maybe even a toothpick. When you use a toothpick, however, you're gonna have to keep dipping in the paint. For the fretboard, what I added is, so let's say we had our fretboard right here, right? Whoop, whoop, there's our fretboard. So I went in and I took the white or like the gray and I just added quick lines. I didn't try to make it perfect. This is just giving the illusion, just like that, that there's some frets on there. Okay, so that's what I did for those lines that are right under there. So you're kind of just sweeping through a little. You don't have to do them really perfect. Again, here's another example of that. So there's the fretboard, right? And you just kind of like add these quick lines through it. Just to give kind of the example, kind of like a ladder, huh? And you don't have to do that either. So the fretboard and the strings are optional. If you feel like you like your guitar the way it is, you don't want to mess with it, you don't have to do those fret markers or those lines, and you don't have to do these strings. So when I do the strings, I want to realize that I'm pulling out this way if I decide to, and then coming down right next to the other string. And take my time to go all the way down very carefully. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect, but we want it very thin. And so this is the thinnest brush I have right now, but if you could find a thinner one, I'm barely touching my paper because we're trying to keep it as thin as possible, and that you're gonna go all the way down to this bridge here. So whatever string you choose, like this, you gotta come down and go this way, okay? And you could stop and then, you know, finish it here. Same thing you did with the fretboard. I'm kind of just sweeping through to give that illusion of strings. However, if you're like, I'm good on strings, I like my guitar the way it was without the strings and the fretboard, feel free to keep it that way. So take your time on those strings, and remember, they're gonna come out like this when you have a marker here, out, down, out, down, out, down, out. So that's how they're happening right over here too, okay? Awesome, so go ahead and get those little details in, and you are almost done. There's just one more touch up for the next part.
Step 6. Touch-ups, highlights, and a final layer.
Alrighty, here's the final part. So the final part, I'm actually gonna take some more bright yellow. Doesn't matter what brush you wanna use. Usually it's just whatever you choose. And I'm gonna kinda like go over the edge there. Take some of my red, do the same thing, kind of braid it in. Make my orange, which is red and yellow, like an orangish red and yellow. and just sweep that in as well. So these flames, I can just add even more too, now that my painting's a little dry. Some more yellow to just be really bright. And you can see how that's looking like it's really like kind of on fire, because now I have that second layer of bright yellow, maybe even that reddish orange. I could do another layer. So you want some of it to be see-through like this in the back, and then you want some of it to be really bold, and that's going to be your next layer of what we're doing. Or this layer. This layer that we're doing is the bold layer, the top layer. And that layer we did on the bottom was more of like a see-through thing. So I'm loving this. Arlo, thanks for the suggestion. Anybody who's using this and watching this as a step-by-step for fun, Arlo is an amazing guitar student that I have, and his sister Etta is amazing as well, but this was his choice of painting, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. All right. Awesome. So you got those bright flames. Look how bright that is. That like looks like it's on fire, and that's what it means. We're also going up in front of the side of the guitar there to make it look more realistic. Now I'm wiping off my brush a little. I'm gonna take some blue, mix it maybe with a little white if I feel like it, and I'm gonna go on over this part too. And again, it's more like water, like a splash of water, kind of coming in over the guitar like that. Take some white and throw it in there as well as that top layer. So now you've got this awesome piece. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if something's hard for you and you need help. Sorry about the little glitch with the recording, but it was on a part that I think should work out just fine. If you need any help, again, you guys know how to reach me. I had so much fun with this painting, and I can't wait for our next one. So Etta, I know you been wanting to do a space painting, so I think that'll be our next video besides music. So great, I hope you guys enjoyed creating with me.